And so the author of Hebrews, writing to these people that are being persecuted, that are being put down, that are being put through such a storm in their life, he writes to them and he says, don't lose this. Let brotherly love continue. Look at this. And then he goes on and he reminds them to love themselves love each other in a way that is sacrificial. And when you look throughout the history of the church, what we find out is that this is exactly the apologetic that was used by the Lord throughout history to bring many people to Jesus. When we see great plagues that have overtaken parts of the world, we're reminded of one that raged around Alexandria during the reign of Gallienus. And what happened is that as this plague was reigning and all this kind of stuff, the description goes like this: at the first appearance of the symptoms, the heathen drove the infected man from their sight. They tore themselves from their dearest connections. They threw their friends half dead in the streets and left their dead unburied. This is how they acted when somebody was found to have become sick with this plague that was ravaging these areas at that time. They would just literally throw them out in the streets and keep their distance. The flu came to visit our house this week, and it just visited little Hollis so far. It hadn't visited the rest of us, right? And I went out to check on him out in the neighborhood today, and he seems to be making some progress. No, that's not what we did. We brought him closer. We tried to keep him safe. And this is the picture because the description goes on to describe this time. And it said, but in contrast with cruel selflessness, the Christians, in the abundance of their brotherly love, did not spare themselves, but mutually attended each other. They would visit the sick without fear, and ministering to each other for the sake of Christ, cheerfully gave up their lives with them. Many died after their care had restored others to health. Many who took the bodies of their Christian brethren into their hands and bosoms and closed their eyes and buried them with every mark of attention, soon followed them in death. This is the picture, is that they cared enough to wrap them in the brotherly love of what's commanded to us in Scripture. That they didn't think about themselves first, but instead elevated others above themselves. And that leads us to the second part. Because of what Christ has done. Since the Lord is my helper, not only will I continue in love, but I'm committed to hospitality.